Hi, everybody. My name is Wendy Porch, and I'm the Executive Director at the Centre for Independent Living in Toronto. I am very pleased to tell you a little bit more about SILT and what we do and how we can support young adults with disabilities to live independently in the community. I should let you know, too, I am also a person with a disability myself. So, what is SILT? SILT is the Centre for Independent Living in Toronto. We are for persons with a disability by persons with a disability. We are a consumer-controlled, community-based resource organization, and we help people with disabilities to learn independent living skills and to integrate into the community. We operate under the independent living philosophy, which sees the expertise in being a person with a disability as residing in disabled people ourselves. Our aim is to develop and implement dignified social services that empower people rather than create dependencies. We encourage people with disabilities, who we also refer to as consumers, to take control of their own lives by exercising their rights to examine options, make choices, take risks, and even make mistakes. We have a number of free programs for adults with disabilities who are 16 years old and up. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of our programs today. So the programs I'm going to talk about in more detail are our direct funding program, our Attendance Service Application Center program, and some of our core programs that are peer-based and provide supports for independent living. So our direct funding program is the first one I'd like to tell you about today. SILT is the provincial administrator for the direct funding program across Ontario. So we are the main administrators for this program, although we work with local independent living centers on administering the program. This is a very innovative program, and it's a new way of providing attendance services. So the direct funding program enables adults who are 16 years and older and are people with a disability to hire their own attendants to assist with routine activities of daily living. They act as employers, so the participants themselves are the employers of their attendants, and they are fully responsible for managing their own employees within a budget that is developed on an individual basis in consultation with the program and with other members of the program who are people with disabilities. The program is available across the province of Ontario, and it's funded by the Ontario Ministry of Health through the Toronto Central Local Health Integration Network, through the Toronto Central LHIN, which is currently in the midst of transferring name to the Toronto Ontario Health Region. To learn more about this innovative program, please visit www.dfontario.ca. The program was the work of many, many folks with disabilities who worked very hard to have the right to be their own employers and hire their own attendants. And so if you're interested in a program like that to access attendance services, please do check out the website or contact SILT for more information. We support also, just so you know, we support about 1,000 people across Ontario on that program, and we are always taking applications for that program. So please do get in touch. So the next program I'd like to tell you about is the Attendance Service Application Center, also known as ASAC. The Attendance Service Application Center is the centralized point of access for individuals with physical disabilities who are 16 years and older, who are applying for attendance services in the Toronto and New York region. With a single application to ASAC, applicants can apply to a variety of projects and programs offered by different attendance service providers, including supportive housing attendance services, attendant outreach services, and transitional and life skills programs. ASAC receives and assesses applications for basic eligibility and forwards these applications to the attendance service providers themselves. ASAC also manages the centralized waiting list for attendance services in Toronto and the York region. This program came about because before ASAC, individuals with disabilities who wanted to access attendance services or supportive housing had to apply individually to all of the various service providers. And then they had to follow up individually with all of the various service providers. ASAC means that if you are interested in these services and you are 16 years and older in the Toronto and York region area, you can apply just to ASAC for a range of programs. So we partner with service providers in the community, and you can apply for all of those programs through one application point. So applicants who are interested can contact ASAC for an application package or download it from the SILT website, complete the application and return it to ASAC. So for more information about ASAC, you can call 416-599-2458, which is the SILT number, or you can email ASAC, so that's asac.info@silt.ca. And I'd like to tell you about our core programs. So every independent living center provides core programs, and these are programs that are designed to support people with disabilities or consumers in connecting with other consumers and learning skills to live independently in the community. And we have a range of those programs at SILT, and they're available to those who live in Toronto and the Greater Toronto area. We provide independent living skills programs. So we offer workshops and advocacy skills trainings around human rights topics related to also overcoming any issues that you might encounter in your attendance services, employment options, and that provide you with an overview of available government services. We also provide individual advocacy skills training. So we have staff members who will work with you, not for you, so together as a partnership, so that you can develop the skills as a consumer yourself that are needed to advocate on your own behalf. These skills might include letter writing, making phone calls, or holding meetings with individuals who make decisions that impact your life. So we, again, have staff members who will work with you as a person with a disability to address any of those kinds of challenges that you might have and to develop your skills in advocating for yourself. And these are peer-based services. So the people that you would be working with are also people with disabilities who have been in very similar circumstances to the ones that you're dealing with. We also have a peer support program. Peer Connect is a support group for adults with disabilities that connects in the last little while, particularly through COVID. I think it has been every 2 weeks or so that Peer Connect has gotten together over Zoom and provided a way for folks to be able to connect to others and just check in on how you're doing. The Peer Connect program also includes workshops and social events. We also have one-on-one peer support available for anybody who's looking for that. And that can include talking through resources that are available to help you address any issues you might be encountering or referrals to other services. We have some additional core programs. SILT is unique in that we have a Parenting with a Disability network. So for anybody who is considering becoming a parent and has some concerns or some questions about how they will do that as a person with a disability, you can contact SILT and ask to speak to our Parenting with a Disability network coordinator, and she will be able to talk to you about what kinds of issues you might be concerned about and connect you to resources and potentially to other parents with disabilities to talk that through. This is one of the only resources that I'm aware of in Ontario that supports parents with disabilities. We also have a service navigation program. And so we know that it can be challenging and intimidating for people to be able to get out and connect with the kinds of services that you need, because there sometimes can be so many, and sometimes, depending on where you live, there can be so few. So our service navigation staff person will talk to you and provide you with information and referrals to just about anything that you need pertaining to disability issues. For example, they can answer questions related to independent living itself, questions related to housing, referrals to housing resources, whether or not there are vacancies available for various kinds of housing programs. You can talk through transportation options, accessible hotels, restaurants, and also if you're looking for information about employment programs. So our service navigation staff member can help you to connect to employment programs, can provide you with referrals, and help you to connect with places that may have job opportunities too. So those are all the kinds of questions and more really that you can connect with our service navigation staff person at SILT. We also have a volunteer program. So SILT provides opportunities for folks with disabilities to come and volunteer. So we ask for volunteers to help us out with things that help us run SILT. So it can include things like coming into the office to assemble information packages and helping us to prepare mailings. This is a program that we normally run. Unfortunately, at the moment, because of COVID-19, this program isn't running. But if it sounds like something that you'd be interested in post-pandemic, then please do get in touch with us. So those are some of the main programs that we provide at SILT. Just to speak briefly to changes that we've undergone that are related to COVID-19. I just want to assure you that the Attendant Service Application Center is still accepting applications. So ASAC can still help you to get connected to attendant services or supportive housing within the Greater Toronto area. Our direct funding program is still accepting applications. So if you are interested in being on the direct funding program and acting as your own employer of your attendant services, then please do get in touch with us at the direct funding program. We do have a wait list for that program, but we are still accepting applications. But because of COVID-19, all of the office staff at SILT and all of our core program staff, so basically everybody at SILT, is operating remotely. We are fully functioning, but we are operating from our homes largely at this time. And as I mentioned earlier, a volunteer program is also unfortunately currently on hold while everybody is working from home. We do hope, though, fingers crossed, that with the coming vaccines, that everybody will be, eventually back in the office and will be able to resume business as usual. So I just want to say that SILT receives funding from the United Way of Greater Toronto and from the Ministry of Health, and also from the City of Toronto and Independent Living Canada, who is our national umbrella agency. So thank you very much. That's a little bit of an overview of what we can provide to you at SILT. Please do get in touch. We are very interested in supporting young people with disabilities in knowing that there are ways to live independently in the community. We have been there, we've done it. The majority of our staff and the majority of our board are people with disabilities, so we operate from a peer-based lens. So that's the majority of staff in our core programs are also people with disabilities. So we can help. If that's something that you're interested in and you'd like more information about, please do get in touch with us at SILT. Thank you.